November 5th. So we're going to look at cafe today. You've probably done this last year, but we're going to look at a very brief review. So C stands for comprehension. I understand what I read. A, accuracy. I can read the words. F, fluency. I can read accurately with expression and understand what I read. Expand vocabulary. I know, find, and use interesting words. This makes cafe. So comprehension is, do you understand what you're reading? Accuracy, are you saying the words properly? Fluency is, are you reading chop? P, I can read accurate, or are you reading in one motion? I can read accurately with expression and understand what I read. And expand vocabulary, which is probably the most important one, and that is knowing more vocabularies and finding more vocabulary words. So cafe, this. What is that called? Do you remember? Like FBI, CIA, LOL. It is an acronym. So we will be looking at these probably in the upcoming weeks. So cafe, we're going to look at a C strategy. So this is comprehension. So this is to understand better what you are reading. So stop and check for understanding. So a comprehension strategy that teaches you to stop frequently and check or monitor whether you understand what you are reading. This typically is a quick summary of what you've read, starting with who and what. So let's look at an example. So is that a shark or a ray? So this is a non-fiction text, descriptive. Are you afraid of sharks and rays? Do their sharp teeth and pointy barbs fill you with dread? All sharks and rays are meat eaters, and these predators eat almost every kind of animal that lives in the ocean. So let me see. If I remember what I just read, I'm going to start thinking of what the reading is about and what happened. So nothing really happened already, but I'm kind of getting an idea that this is going to be about sharks and rays. And I do know that they eat meat and they live in the ocean. Do you think that these fierce creatures couldn't possibly be related to anything you know? Think again. Sharks and rays are fishes. Let's look at it. What are they talking about? Well, they're talking about these fierce creatures, sharks and manta rays. So I'm going to stop again. Like other fishes, they live underwater and obtain oxygen by breathing through gills. So, what are they talking about? Well, they're talking about how they breathe underwater. So to check for understanding, we ask the following questions. How often did you stop to check for understanding? After each sentence, after each paragraph, at the end of each page? I would definitely suggest after each paragraph, because if you want to just keep going on and not understand what you've read, it's going to be pretty hard to answer any kind of a question at the end. Was your brain talking to you while you read? Oh, I know that word. I don't know that word. Let's write it down. Are you finding you are understanding what you are reading? What do you do if you don't remember? Okay, so this is something we're going to do in class, but we're going to do the same strategy with a larger text. So now let's look at an accuracy strategy. So we're going to trade a word or guess a word that makes sense. So when you see words you don't know, but you understand the gist, this is using context. So you understand the context of what you are reading, but you may not know an exact word. The gist of the text, you can insert a word that makes sense in place of the unknown word. So why was Steve crazy for wildlife? You don't have to look far for the answer. Steve's parents, Bob and Lynn Irwin, cared for all kinds of animals. They taught Steve and his sisters how to do this. Maybe I don't know this word. So I'm going to look at the paragraph. Why was Steve crazy for this? And then later on they say all kinds of animals. So wildlife. Maybe it is plants, animals, food, people. I'm going to think animals. Why was Steve crazy for animals? Why wouldn't they say animals? Because he also liked lizards and all these other things. So it's just a more descriptive way, but he's probably an animal of some sort. Steve Irwin was born in Victoria, Australia in February 1962. Animals were always around him. The Irwins kept snakes and lizards as pets. When Steve turned 6, his birthday present wasn't a new bike, it was a 3.5-meter long python. What could that word be? So they're talking about snakes, lizards. A lizard doesn't really get that long, so maybe lizard, no. A half a meter long lizard, no. Half a liter long plant. Well, they're not talking about plants. Bike, no. I know they're talking about an animal of some sort, so I'm going to say a half a meter long snake. So I would put in snake there. Before long, the Irwins' pet collection had outgrown their home. They bought land in Queensland, Australia. They worked hard and turned the land into an animal park. Outgrown. What could that word mean? They're talking about having a pet collection, but they didn't have enough space. So could that be had decreased, broke, exceeded, or improved? I'm going to say it's exceeded. Okay, so those are the two strategies.